Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to be talking about CDBC as US government has just launched the CDBC project. CDBC stands for Central Bank Digital Currency.
The Chinese last month unveiled the world's first digital currency from a major power, currency that would not be printed but would exist only in cyberspace on your phone, for example. Is the Fed working on a digital dollar?
We are actually evaluating that. Most major countries are now looking at the possibility of having a digital currency and really asking the question, in our very modern advanced economy with a fast, efficient, full-blown payment system, would adding a digital currency, a form of digital currency, would it actually benefit the public that we serve? That's the question that we're asking. We're working very hard on that. We're also doing quite a lot of technological experiment. I mean, technology has made this a possible thing, and so we feel it's our obligation to understand it. How would it work? What would the features of it be? There are many subtle and difficult policy choices and design choices that you'd have to make. We're doing all that work. We have not made a decision to do this because, again, the question is, will this benefit the people that we serve? And we need to answer that question well. And we need to involve the public and Congress deeply in that process because it would be an important step if we were to do this.
US government will recognize CDBC as the legal tender, and in issuing the central bank's jurisdiction, meaning anyone can use them for payments and any merchants must accept them. It uses the same distributed ledger technology like cryptocurrency. However, cryptocurrencies, they are very volatile and doesn't lack any kind of central jurisdiction. So CDBC is going to be addressing some of those issues. Mainly, some of the features are CDBC includes, it's a digital currency issued by central bank and universally acceptable. So these are the main criteria. So why CDBC? In this current settlement process where any payments between two parties or paying through credit cards, etc., it has to go through some kind of network, P2P network or direct like POS network. So the settlement is like slower, and also in terms of security, it's not always secure sometimes. So since CDBC is going to be using digital encryption and distributed ledger technology, it is going to be very fast because it's going to be using the central bank's own network. And in terms of, it is a distributed basically technology, they will have all the information, what kind of transactions that has been executed in this particular fashion. So with this, that is why US government, they are trying to promote this CDBC so that this particular will be accepted. It doesn't mean that current the paper currency will be not valuable. That is also going to be used, but they want to increase circulation of digital currency to make it faster and easy to settle.
The fact that the final decision hasn't been made, you are doing, if I understand you correctly, software development, even graphic design on what a digital dollar would look like and act like.
Yes, we're doing lots and lots of work. We're doing stuff jointly with with other central banks. We're doing things at the Boston Fed, and many of the regional feds have little projects going on. Here at the board, we have a group of people who are doing software development and that kind of thing. This is really just table stakes. This is understanding the technology and the possibilities so that you can really address the policy issues.
You think it's likely?
I think it's possible.
However, there are many issues in terms of using CDBC, especially in terms of privacy. Government will have to make sure all the privacy rules are going to be respected and people's information doesn't get leaked out unnecessarily. However, there are many like people, they are very concerned, and especially like certain politicians, they're completely are against it. Currently, Florida Governor DeSantis or Congressman Tulsi Gabbard, they have raised concern and to be like asking people to completely reject CDBC technology, because they feel like it's going to reach governments far reach, and they're going to be controlling each and every aspect of your payment life cycle, what payment you make, when you make payments, or even basically like it will be such a case that you might not have to submit your like yearly taxes. A government will have all the information, and they can say send you a bill to submit your yearly taxes. Also, there are like other concerns, say like if the government will have so much power, because they might all of a sudden basically they might abuse their power, like in the past they have done that, especially like at one time, US government back in 1930s, they had basically like confiscated all the gold from individuals accounts. So similarly, if there is an abuse of power by the government, it could be in such a situation that, say for example, they might take money out of the account, or they might say, okay, what you can buy, what you cannot buy. Say for example, like you might say, okay, today you cannot buy any like electric gas stoves, or you cannot buy you can only buy electric car, otherwise they will not do that. So government will be able to control too much power, and that is why there are so many like people there protesting, vehemently protesting against the acceptance of CDBC.
Question, HE double hockey sticks. No, we cannot have that happening. And so that's why we're here today, because we've seen a lot of mismanagement from the economic central planners. It's just by nature. You cannot do this effectively without there being major costs to pay. And so some want to increase power to these organizations such as the Federal Reserve. And so last year, President Biden issued an executive order to explore the creation of a U.S. central bank digital currency, effectively converting the dollar into a centralized digital currency. And this is different than things like cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. A centralized digital currency is directly controlled and issued by the government to consumers, and it provides the government with a direct view of all consumer activities. And so this is something that is being proposed as somehow being environmentally sustainable, a way to increase access to consumers who lack the means to join a traditional bank. But as we've come to learn, any way they can get into society to exercise their agenda, they will do it. So what the central bank digital currency is all about is surveilling Americans and controlling behavior of Americans. And how do we know? Because we've seen this happen in other parts of the world. Look at no further than China to see the impacts of centralized digital currency. The People's Bank of China uses its central bank to monitor citizen behavior, allowing for the surveillance of spending habits and to cut off access to goods and services. You also see
I will be writing more information as this evolves. I hope you like this video. If you like this, please subscribe it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.